Welcome to the Superstar Communicator podcast. My name is Susan Heaton-Wright, a leading impact, speaking and communications expert. My aim is to show you how to make an impact so you will be heard, listened to and respected for career success. Listen weekly to the podcast and go to our website, superstarcommunicator.com. Hello everybody, this is Susan Heaton-Wright from Superstar Communicator. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Isn't the world changing? It's almost on an hourly basis and it can be quite fearful, can't it? Particularly if your routine has altered, if you're remote working for the first time. That's not the case with me. And I wanted to reassure you and give you some ideas based on what I've been reading, what I found out myself has worked, so that you can feel calm and relaxed in what is a very stressful world. Now, it can be bewildering. For a lot of people, they will be working independently for the first time, and that can be quite isolating. It can be fearful because you might be worried about your job. In my case, all of my work has dried up, so I have to motivate myself to create an environment where I can still work and look forward. But also, if you are living alone and you're having to self-isolate as well, that can be really, really difficult because you can be lonely as well as not knowing what's going on in the future. And I wanted to reassure you, to offer some help and support, and to give some ideas. Now, I heard from Dr. Linda Shaw. I've mentioned her before, and I know that she is one of the guests that we've had here on the Superstar Communicator podcast. She is a neuroscientist, and she said that it's so important for us to be mentally and physically well during this epidemic. That there is a massive correlation between being physically and mentally well, relaxed, and being able to fight infection. So thinking about a healthy diet, bit of a challenge if you've looked on the shelves of some of the supermarkets because there's not much fruit and veg. Certainly when I was there this morning. Fresh air, if it's possible for you to go for a walk, even if it's around the block. Exercise and lack of stress. So trying to be relaxed, trying to be mindful and finding a way where you can relax, doing some things that bring you real joy. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But also exercise. In my case, my gym has just recently closed in the last couple of days. They are brilliant. This is Hertfordshire Sports Village. Absolutely brilliant in that they have reassured people that we won't be charged while it's closed. There won't be money taken from our bank accounts, but they're also creating content that they can share with their members so that we can get moving. It's quite difficult if you're in a flat or certainly a student room. I'm lucky enough to have a garden, but not everybody does have a garden to walk around. But walking, if you're allowed to, round the block, but social isolating is really, really useful. But also there are some cracking videos on YouTube. I've had great fun looking out some, doing an African dance, which was superb. It brought me such joy, and some disco 1980s dancing, and John Travolta moves for late 70s. Really good fun. There's quite a lot out there, and it will bring you joy. It will get you moving and make you feel better. I would also say that it's really important to try and filter out some of the noise that's on social media and the news. It can be very, very easy to get sucked into conversations with sometimes false rumours and false information. And I would really, really suggest that you try to um, limit the amount of time that you are on social media and perhaps only connect with people that you want to, because some of it is quite distressing. Certainly in the case of my parents, who are 85, my dad has vascular dementia and Alzheimer's, and they are well over 100 miles away from me, and I'm not able to see them. And when you read and hear rumours that people over a certain age are not going to be treated and things like that, whether we know that is true or not, it's quite distressing to hear and quite stressful, as I'm sure you can appreciate, for me and for them. So just really be careful about that. One thing that I've known from working alone for a number of years is that it's really important to have a daily routine. Um, Imagine that you are going to work, even though you're going to be going to your home office or your laptop. Maybe have a shower beforehand, wash your hair, put on nice clothes, maybe not the most formal clothes, but make an effort as though you're going to the office. Create a specific space for work, which is really important, and make sure that you've got all of the things you need around you. So I've got a home office, and I have done for many years, and it's got everything I need up here. It's not just a den, it really is my working environment. But you might find that one side of the table or a little bit of the kitchen where you're able to put your laptop in, but have all of the other things you need there, and only work in that environment. I know that I went through a stage when I had an awful lot of work of, the laptop coming downstairs later on in the day, and I was working in the evening, and so the boundaries were blurred. And it's very, very important to make sure that you have that boundary between work and home life, even if you're working from home. So start at a particular time in the day, stop at a specific time in the day, and take breaks. Make sure that every hour you get up and just have a little bit of exercise so that you're stretching your legs. Go and get a cup of tea. If you've got a partner in the home as well, you could perhaps check to see they're okay. Maybe even go for a walk if you're allowed to. Go to the shops, do things like that. Have a proper lunch. And here's another one, building up time to talk to others, because it's really important to build up a community. I'm actually doing a webinar tomorrow, and the organisation, it's a professional organisation. They were talking to me about the software I was using, which is Zoom, and they recognised that it would actually be a really good idea to have weekly meetings for people if they wanted to come along and just have a chat and just know that other people are there. And this is something that I'm going to do, a virtual coffee chat, and I'll mention that a little bit later. But what else can you do? Because I don't know about you, but I go out quite a bit, meet up with friends, I go to the gym, go for a swim, go to my private club in London, go to see films, all sorts of things. And we won't be able to do those things. Certainly a lot of these things are now closed. So here are a few ideas. Gentlemen, you might think of other ideas as well, because there's no live sport either. Box sets on TV are all good. I know that the BBC are trying to put lots of very old box sets up that are going to be accessed so that we'll be able to enjoy those. I've come across a website called netgalley.co.uk, and for the last 6 months I have been reviewing books before they're published for everybody. And the brilliant thing is that you get a Kindle version of it, and you can access it, read it on your phone or your laptop or something like that, and you can get involved in the community discussion about the particular book. It's really good, and if you enjoy reading or you want to try a new hobby, that would be a perfect thing for you to do. There are lots of different genres of books, from historical novels to thrillers to non-fiction. Have a go. So it's netgalley.co.uk. Gardening. Believe it or not, even if you've got a flat and you don't have a garden, you might be able to grow a couple of things that can go on the windowsill. Some fruit and vegetables. For me, I've already got some seeds, and I'm going to be growing some rocket and kale at the moment, and then in the next month I'll be able to start growing lettuce. I normally grow tomatoes and courgettes, and I'll have to see if I'll be able to get those plants, or I'll have to grow them from seed. But we've got a bit more time to be doing this sort of thing now. Maybe even cooking, if you're able to get the ingredients. Why not share what you cook the photograph with people you love? I know with my parents, because they are definitely going into self-isolation for 3 or 4 months, I'm sending photos already of what we've eaten every day before we've eaten it, just to get the dialogue going. Sharing tips. I know that one of my neighbours is doing an exercise class from his living room, which he's going to stream, which is an absolute hoot, and that's great because we can all have a go at that. If you've got any other ideas, please share them with me so I can do another podcast to do that sort of thing. But before I finish, I should mention the idea that I've had of a virtual coffee chat. I have Zoom, so I'm able to host meetings and social gatherings virtually. So if anybody would like to contact me, like to have a chat with me, and perhaps arrange to have a time that we all chat, please email me at susan@superstarcommunicator.com, and I will be putting out a time that I will be hanging out on Zoom if anyone wants to have a chat. Do take care, and if you've got any questions at all or any ideas, please let me know. But in the meantime, the most important thing is that you keep safe and you keep well. Sending all my love. You have been listening to the Superstar Communicator podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and review the podcast on iTunes and on apps. Please contact us if you want to discuss any topic, could suggest a topic for us to include, or a guest who could come onto the podcast. Go to superstarcommunicator.com.